The message that we're sending to Trenton by approving this budget tonight is that we don't need money from you. We can just shovel it off to our taxpayers and they'll foot the bill.
Unfortunately, my kids are too old to benefit from full-day kindergarten, but I'm here as a matter of principle because I believe in the importance of early childhood education. I'm here to ask you to vote yes on this budget. I don't think anyone in this room is excited about higher taxes. I'm not, but I also think it's important to understand what's actually driving this increase. The reality is that healthcare costs have risen dramatically, and that is the primary factor in this budget. This is not unique to Monroe. It is happening across the state and across the country. So the question in front of you tonight isn't whether costs are going to go up. The question is, how do we respond to that reality? Because the alternative to this budget is not neutral. You've already heard what reducing it would mean: staff cuts, program cuts, larger class sizes. These are real consequences, not hypotheticals. I also want to briefly address the point that was raised about state aid. It was suggested that passing this budget would quote-unquote send a message to Trenton that Monroe doesn't need more aid. But respectfully, that's not how school funding works in New Jersey. State aid is determined by a formula based on enrollment, property wealth, income, and the state's calculation of a district's ability to pay, not whether a town raises taxes in a given year. Monroe receives less aid because the formula classifies it as being able to fund itself, even though we feel real pressures like rising costs, a large population on fixed income, and declining enrollment. Voting down this budget will not change that formula. It will not bring in more state aid. It would only result in cuts, while the underlying funding issue remains exactly the same. But I also want to focus on what this budget does. For the first time in years, Monroe is not just maintaining services. We are expanding opportunity. This budget includes full-day kindergarten, and that matters, not just for the convenience, but for equity and educational outcomes. Right now, full-day kindergarten is something families can access privately, but others cannot. This budget changes that. It gives every child in this community the opportunity to start school on a strong footing. I also want to point out something important. 2 years ago, this community supported a tax increase just to maintain existing services. This year, you have the opportunity to both protect what we have and finally move forward. I understand that there are suggestions to reduce the budget, but I would respectfully ask the board to be honest about what that means. There's no version of this where you reduce the budget and nothing else changes. If the levy is reduced, the cuts will come from staff, programming, and services, and initiatives like full-day kindergarten will be at risk. So tonight, the decision is in front of you is a difficult one, but it's a clear one. Please vote yes and protect the students, staff, and programs while expanding opportunity. Thank you very much.